Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Dumelang, Sanbonani. For those of you who don't know me or don't know this face, my name is Kagiso Musue, and I'm responsible for marketing for the School of Tourism and Hospitality. It is a pleasure to welcome you all to this public lecture hosted here in one of our prime spaces. I must sneak this in, Prof. Our conference venues, the Sun International Auditorium. And this is our first public lecture in a series of lectures that we plan to host this year. So we hope that this is not the last time we see all of your faces. Today's lecture explores the theme artificial intelligence, AI, as we mostly know it. And we're looking at the technology and its use in service creation and delivery. AI sounds like a buzzword that doesn't seem to fade away for some reason. And as it becomes increasingly embedded in service industries, such as ours in tourism and hospitality, it is reshaping the customer experience, value co-creation, and operational processes, and many, many, many other things that we are all familiar with. So we are delighted today to host our distinguished guest speaker, Prof. Dogan, Gursoy, here today. And to kick off the program, I'd like to invite our director, Prof. Diane, to just give us a few opening remarks. Please welcome her with a round of applause.
So good afternoon, everyone. It's great to see all the faces in the room, especially in the middle of the day and in the pouring rain. So clearly there's something exciting about the topic. As you know, I'm Diane Abrams. I'm the director for the School of Tourism and Hospitality, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to today's public lecture on the use of artificial intelligence technology in service creation and delivery. Events such as this is an important part of our mission as the School of Tourism and Hospitality, namely to create spaces where scholars, students, and industry leaders can engage critically with major forces shaping the future of service economies such as tourism and hospitality. Few developments are as transformative as artificial intelligence. Across tourism and hospitality, retail and other sectors, service sectors, AI is influencing how organizations operate, how services are delivered, and how customers experience these services. AI in tourism is already at the front desk, in the dining room, and on the other end of the customer service line. It is changing what services looks like and feels like, and it raises the questions about the people who deliver it, the kind of businesses that provide it, and the guests and customers who experience it. We are therefore especially privileged to host a scholar who has been at the forefront of research in this area and who will assist us in grounding our thinking around some of the key questions we may have in this regard. I want to introduce Prof. Dogan Gursoy, who is a Regents Professor and a Taco Bell Distinguished Professor in Hospitality Business Management at Washington State University. He's also the editor of the Journal of Hospitality Marketing and Management. He's internationally recognized for his extensive work on consumer behavior, technology adoption, and the implications of technologies such as AI and robotics for hospitality and tourism. His research has contributed significantly to global academic debates and to industry understanding of how intelligent technologies are reshaping service interactions. With over 250 publications in top-tier journals and 12 authored and edited books, his scientific impact is reflected in a cumulative H-index of 108 and more than 52,000 citations. He is consistently ranked among the most influential and prolific tourism hospitality scholars in the world. Prof. Gursoy is one of a very small number of scholars to receive the Clarivate Highly Cited Researcher Award for 5 consecutive years, from 2021 to 2025. He's also recognized as one of the world's top 2% scientists by Elsevier and Stanford University. We are also proud that Prof. Dogan Gursoy serves as a Senior Research Associate at the School of Tourism and Hospitality here at UJ, strengthening the school's global research networks and intellectual engagement. Please join me in giving a warm University of Johannesburg welcome to Prof. Dogan Gursoy.
Yeah, thank you for a nice introduction and kind words. I think I'll have this, one of the microphones. That way I can walk around. Yeah, thank you for invitation to University of Johannesburg. I have been here a few times as part of research associate meetings, but this is one of the few times that we had a face-to-face with the student, staff, and faculty. Thank you, Professor Dean Diane, for inviting and hosting us so far. It has been great. We even got the rain, so I think we all need rain, but sometimes it gets too much. I mean, I'm from Washington State, not Washington, D.C. There's a huge difference. And then I'm Taco Bell, distinguished professor, editor-in-chief of one of the journals in the field. And then before I start my presentation, we are hosting a conference this summer. If you want to go to Macau, you know, they have small casinos. And if you want to try your luck, I think you should attend the conference. It's between June 22nd and June 26th. And if you need more information, you can go to the website and then check out the conference. Well, Macau is a nice place. Basically, they have nothing but casinos. Huge hotels, huge resort type of hotels. All right, this is what I am going to talk about. I think everyone knows what AI is, but I'll still briefly talk about it. And then I talk about application of AI services in marketing and management. And then talk about drivers, why we are we keep hearing more about AI and then robots and all the other things. And then we will talk about AI, robot devices versus traditional technology. And then human-robot interaction or AI interaction. Then the factors, why we are doing it, the factor that affects these things. And then whether it's an opportunity or a threat. Everyone is worried about it. Then I talk about challenges. What kind of challenges we are facing using these technologies. So basically AI, it's a computer program, a whole bunch of machines. They use multiple technologies and they are able to sense. Technology is getting better and better. And then they are, comprehend, act, and then they learn. These machines learn from us. And then that's why they make the mistakes that the human makes. And then most of the AI technologies, I think most of us are using LLM language models. They are either trained in using US data or Chinese data, so they are all biased. They are biased. So they show some form of human intelligence. And then, integration of AI technologies into service creation and delivery, it represents a significant change. But I think if you look at the AI, most of the AI we use today, or we have been using for the last 20 years, that's been running in the background. Since, I think after the introduction of ChatGPT, consumers started having access to AI, so it became a consumer-facing technology. Then everyone started talking about AI. But AI, it's nothing new. It has been around for a long time, for decades. And companies has been using it, internet companies, websites, everyone has been using it. Hotels has been using it, airlines has been using it. So it's nothing new. but it became more explicit, more visible, then we started paying more attention. And then if you look at the AI applications in the industry, I mean, we have 4 different types of intelligence. The mechanical intelligence has been there maybe last 40 years. You know, the factories, machines do the same thing over and over, over and over, over and over. If you look at most manufacturing plants, they are using this technology. And then we have analytical AI, hotel revenue management softwares, or airline revenue management softwares. They have been using that for decades and uses that technology. And we have intuitive AI, and then we have also the effective AI. And if you look at the applications, especially for hospitality and tourism applications, I mean, we use them for check-in, check-out, and that's, I mean, we have been using them for a long time for concierge services, the housekeeping, transportation. When you look at from employee management, we use them for screening employees. And then payroll administration. I don't think many places do payroll by hand anymore. You enter employee information and you make some changes, everything populated by some kind of technology. And then we have been using analytical AI for room service, meal ordering. They have been around for a long time. And then security, and they did tests in facial recognition software. When I left the US, no one checks my passport. When I enter the US, no one checks my passport. Everything is done on facial recognition. The only time they checked my passport was when I arrived in South Africa. And then I think they are going to check my passport in South Africa, and then I put my passport in my bag, and no one will check it. Because they are using facial recognition technology, and many countries are using the same thing for security purposes. And then we use them for utility management. And elevators, I'm sure at least you guys tried once being on an elevator. How do you think it determines which floor to go? There's been there like that for, I don't know, for so many years. So it's not a new technology. Also we use for big data analysis. Then also we are using for hiring people. Now there are applications that scans, monitors, interviews people, order taking for inventory management or supply chain management. Then we have been using this for training employees. I mean, military has been using that frequently. If you want to become a pilot, you know what you do? You are trained on one of these things. Many of the trainings are done using AI, employee relations. I mean, sending happy birthday cards to employees or emails. I don't think the administrators spend that much time on it. They have some automated system, they send the emails. And then same thing with the health monitoring. I mean, when you go to a doctor, what do they do these days? If you go for your annual checkup, I go and then we have some conversation with the doctor, talk about the sports, and then someone comes, takes the blood, put in a machine, and then I get the results before doctor receives the results. And it tells me everything, and it's done basically everything run on AI. The guest rooms, hotel, I mean, many places now everything is run on some kind of AI technology. Temperatures, lighting, and all the other things. The vehicles. I mean, I was in a car in China a few months ago. Car had no driver. You call the cop like you call the Uber, same technology, and then it tells you the car is there. You go get in the car, and then it takes you to where you are going. And it did a good job. And then I drive a Tesla, and my wife one time drove from where we live to Canada, 8 hours drive, on self-driving. And she said at the end of the trip, she said, this car drives better than me. Self-driving, all you have to do is just put your hand, and then car will take you when it sees the red light, stops, stop sign stops, passes cars if they are going too slow. So, I mean, technology is getting there, and we are using for financial services, the billing, accounting, banking, So a whole bunch of different technologies. And a more intelligent AI, we are using exercise and stress management. Many of us has these things. Yeah. It tells us to do this, get up, sit down, and sends messages. And the stuff is running on AI, I mean recommendation and planning. Basically, many people are using ChatGPT type of language models for tour planning. And then customer service and delivery. They are calling people these days, these technologies. And we don't know that it's a machine. And then we are using healthcare and senior living. You know, people need to have social interactions. And now I think there's a new service that younger people are interacting with AI, and they are even falling in love with the AI. Online websites, providing companion services. It's becoming very popular. Very popular. It's a good business model because I think everyone has lots of friends on the social media, yes? I have thousands of friends on social media, thousands. I don't know any of them. I mean, only a few of them, and usually that's why people, the biggest disease these days is the loneliness. We are all lonely. So what do you do if you are lonely? You need to have someone to talk to. And these AI technologies are providing those kind of services. So we are using AI. We have been using AI for so many different types of activities. And then also these are some specific applications for services. We have AI agents like smart devices. I mean, we have seen this hotel. This is a robot. I think everyone has seen those things. And this is more intelligent social robot. And then we have self-service technologies. You go to a hotel, you check in from your phone. Airlines, you do the same thing. Then we have chatbots. We all use chatbots. I mean, some of them, many of them are still using older technology, but newer ones are a lot more effective. I mean, ChatGPT, everyone is using it. As far as many people are concerned, AI is the ChatGPT. ChatGPT is the AI. And the metaverse, I don't know if anyone tried. It was hot a few years ago, went down. I think it will come back. The main reason why it didn't work out is the technology. The speed of the connection is not there yet. We need a faster speed to transfer lots of data. But it will come back. I think it's going to be Internet 2.0 because it has lots of commercial applications. So you don't have to go to the store. You can get onto a metaverse store, try the clothes, and buy it over there, and they'll ship it. When you buy stuff on Amazon or wherever you do your online shopping, you cannot try it. But with metaverse technologies, we will be able to try those things, like in an actual store. Service robots, we are seeing more and more of those. But I mean, most of the time, just delivering stuff. Then also we have social robots like this one. This can have conversation. Really good conversation. They are very intelligent. Okay, they know everything. Supposedly, but. And then we have a robot that looks like a human. And that's also a big industry. I mean, most of the time we are focusing on a service side, but if you look at the companion side of the technology, and that's the area that's gaining traction. There are lots of robots in the market for different purposes. And no one talks about them, but I mean, there's a huge market. So basically, we use AI in service management and marketing to improve the operations. We can automate many of the stuff, many of the activities. So human employees don't need to perform those activities, so they have more time to do other things. And also it can improve customer service experience using chatbots, virtual assistants. I don't know if anyone has a virtual assistant. Do you guys have one? I have one. It does, sometimes I automate it, responds some of my emails. Write the emails, response to them. I just have to review the email and then send it. If I am doing something online, can summarize the information. I think Copilot can do the same thing. So it can do a whole bunch of different activities. Makes life easier. And also we use this for employee scheduling and maintenance. It's mainly on AI now. It's like forecasting models. And then inventory management. I'm sure you remember COVID, supply chain disruptions. Now we are using AI to minimize those types of disruptions. And then energy efficiency. You walk into a room, or it knows when to turn the light on, when to turn the light off, depending on the sun, depending on the rain. If you are watering your lawn, if it's raining, it doesn't turn on. And then we can analyze large amount of data, especially for large businesses. I mean, businesses have lots of data, but most people didn't know what to do with that data. Now we are using AI and coming up with very, very targeted communication marketing strategies. Then also more personalized marketing because of AI. And then we can automate and optimize digital advertising. We get very personalized ads. And basically analyzes gets data from different sources and comes up with very personalized ad for you. They know, I mean, AI knows everything if they have access to the data. And then basically what they do is do all those things, and it frees up employees' time. So employees can provide the service that they're supposed to provide. Interaction, making people happy, and that type of thing, and enhance guest experience. But also we use AI for social media. Does anyone use it for social media? You can come up with a small bot and then attach to your social media account, and it can respond to the post. Do you guys write a happy birthday messages to every single day? You know, if you have 5,000 friends, it takes a long time. There's an app for it. It will automate sending messages. Have happy birthday to whenever their birthdays or anniversaries. It will send automated messages. And it will save you lots of time. And then we do the same thing for online review comments. Companies are using, and AI is responding to online review comments. And then companies are using to analyze online data, review comments people post, and then figure out what's wrong with their company, what people like, what they don't like, identify their weaknesses and strengths. Everything is automated. People don't use their, I mean, it's not done by people, but it's done by the AI technology. Basically sentiment analysis. And then also we use it for a customer experience creation. The personalization is the key. You get data. I mean, companies have lots of data about us, lots of data. Especially if they can access to your social media data, they have everything. So they can come up with very personalized services and personalized messages. And then, I mean, it can enhance safety and security by monitoring potential threats. I mean, mainly we focus on customer security, but we are not paying much attention to employee safety and security. I mean, our industry is one of the worst if you are working in this industry. The sexual harassment is a big issue that no one talks about. And AI minimizes those because it monitors what people are doing to employees. I mean, it's still a big issue, but it's getting, I mean, AI technologies are helping because it's being monitored, recorded, and people are being more, more careful. And then, I mean, we have a whole bunch of different technologies. We are using virtual reality. If you think about what we are selling is we are selling promises. If you come to my hotel, if you come to my resort, if you come visit my destination, I promise that you will have a good time. That's what we are selling, yes? And then you cannot try the product before you buy it. I mean, you don't go to a hotel and you say, okay, I'm going to make a booking, but I want to try your room first. You'll spend the night first. It's not going to happen. Or you go to a restaurant, you tell them, I am going to eat here, but I want to try your food before I buy it. It's not going to happen. But with these technologies, they enable that kind of services. And the main reason why we are seeing more and more AI in this business or in any other business is the cost. It's getting cheaper. It's getting cheaper. I mean, if you are buying one of those service delivery robots, does anyone know how much they are? If you buy from the factory, Segway sells them $4,000. They last 5 years. 5 years, they can work 20 hours a day. The more than 20 hours, you only need an hour to charge. Rest of the time, they can run around, up and down, and then for 5 years. It's a lot cheaper than employees. I mean, these are the, we are developing technologies, but also they are getting cheaper and cheaper. Cost, and also the other one is the labor costs. Everywhere labor cost is going up. I don't know what the minimum wage here, but in where I live, minimum wage is close to $20 1 hour. People, I mean, companies are paying $20, close to $20 each hour. And also we have the social factor. I mean, I know South Africa has a younger population, but if you look at the West and also China, they are getting old. Someone has to provide the services. And they don't have enough people to provide those services, so they have to use technology. And also people are looking for different experiences. You know, as a human, we get bored very quickly. So we have to have different experience, and these things are providing immersive experiences, AI technology. Personalized services, they come up with surprises for you. Makes life more interesting. And then, I mean, when you look at why we are looking at AI and then not using the existing knowledge that we had on traditional technologies. We have lots of technology acceptance models developed for computers. But the problem with the computers is they are not intelligent. There is, I mean, you need to learn how to use a computer, but you don't need to learn how to talk to a chatbot, if it's a properly AI-based chatbot or a AI-based robot. You just have the communication. You talk like a human, as if you are talking to a human being. So there is no need for learning. And also, I mean, it's a mixture of machine and human. It's a computer, it's a computer. Computer doesn't respond. Doesn't argue with you. It tells the computer what to do, and then computer does it. But if you do the AI to do something, they may come back and says, no, that's not right, you shouldn't do it. They can give you a different response. Since, I mean, they behave like human, it also changes how we evaluate the service. If you guys remember the service quality, how we measure it, there are 5 dimensions, most established one. And 3 of them measures human-to-human interaction. But if we are using AI, how are we going to measure service quality? That's going to be an interesting challenge. So I mean, because it's interaction, and many people see these AI or robots as social entity. Even a few years ago, Saudi Arabia granted citizenship to one of the robots. The robot became a citizen of the country. I don't know. I think they did for show. So basically, we had lots of models, but they don't work in AI context because non-intelligent devices versus intelligent devices and different performance measure evaluations. And then AI services challenge customer perception of service, coexistence of acceptance and rejection. Like chocolate. You guys like chocolate, yes? You like to eat chocolate, but you shouldn't eat chocolate. Like that. Same thing with AI. We like it, but we want it, but we don't want it. I mean, we are somewhere in between. And these are some of the factors. We did lots of research on this topic. And these are some of the factors that affect the consumer attitudes towards AI. One of them is the social influence. I mean, humans are social animals. If other people are doing it, we will do it too. That's basically social norms. We follow the social norm, most of us. And then appearance makes a big difference. We will talk about it. If something looks like human, we think it's more intelligent. It's creepy, but it's more intelligent. Because humans are the most intelligent beings on this planet. So it's supposed to, if something looks like human, it's supposed to be more intelligent. And then performance and effort expectancy. I mean, they provide more consistent services. They do not make mistake. AI, if it's used properly, it doesn't make mistake. As a human, we make mistakes. All the time, we forget stuff. Okay, we get busy, distracted. AI doesn't get distracted. They don't forget stuff. And also, I mean, the time and effort required to interact with AI devices also affects people perception. For many people, I think we are getting used to it. If you are using some AI technology in your everyday life, so it doesn't require any learning, nothing. And also emotion. Basically, emotion determines what we do. We like things, we hate things, and then based on that, we buy it, we don't buy it, we support it, we don't support it. That's basically, we make our decision based on emotion. We assume that we are rational beings, humans. We are not rational. We are emotional. We make our decision based on our emotions, not based on, I don't know, the logic or anything. We are not logical. If we are logical, there wouldn't be a war in this world. People wouldn't kill each other. We are not. We are emotional. And then trust is another issue. I mean, it plays the role of a regulator. If you trust something, I mean, controls the level of diffusion. It can increase adoption or decrease adoption, depending on whether you trust AI or not. And many people don't trust AI. And they have, I mean, some of the reasons, I understand some of why some people don't trust AI. They keep monitoring. It's like the big brother. All the time. They keep monitoring. They keep coming up with profile, technology. You know, they have cameras everywhere. They monitor your social media accounts. And not only one of them, all of them. And then they come up with some kind of profile of what kind of person you are, and then they can use for commercial purposes, or they can use it for some other security purposes. Basically, this is a trust and distrust in AI intelligence, trust in AI. I mean, do you guys know how AI makes decisions? Does anyone know? Do you think companies will ever share the information? They will never share the information. That's a trade secret. That's a trade secret. They will never share them. We will never know. Do you think it's fair? No, it's not. It's bias. I mean, one time Facebook came up with a chatbot, AI-based, start making racist comments after a while. Because learn from a human. Humans are not perfect. They reflect human behavior. Privacy, security, no one is regulating this. There is no regulation. When it comes to AI, there is no regulation. No one is regulating. Countries couldn't agree on a regulation. It's like internet. No one is regulating in most parts of the world. Human oversight, sometime, most of the time, no. They learn by themselves, and then they try to, humans sometimes try to fix it. It's black box. We don't know how they make decisions, and that's the problem. It's biased. Discriminates against certain groups because of the data they are getting. And data misuse is very common. Very common data misuse. And then over-reliance on automation. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. And then a customer perceptions and acceptance level. We did some studies, looked at the full-service hotels, limited service hotels. Basically, if you look at the full-service hotels, people don't want AI. Because they think they are saying that they are paying lots of money for the full-service hotel, so they should get the service from a human being. But limited service hotels, I mean, they don't want to deal with the human. If it's a machine, they just want to go there and sleep, then that's it. It's better to deal with a machine. The same thing, we look also at airlines and hotels. For airlines, people happier to deal with the AI. Because airline is a functional stuff. You go from point A to point B. I don't think anyone flies for fun. Especially with the recent changes in the airplanes. I mean, the seats are getting smaller and smaller. If you're a big person, then you cannot fit in the seat. Not comfortable experience. So people want, it's a functional service. For functional services, people are more willing to accept the use of AI than hedonic services. And then service delivery acceptance. Basically, what we have been hearing from a customer is that for hedonic services, AI cannot provide the service. you need to use AI as a support system, not to deliver the actual service. I mean, we have been hearing from people that AI is going to take all the hospitality and tourism jobs. I don't think it's going to happen. People still want a human component. They want humans to be part of the service delivery process or service creation process. You are paying lots of money. You want a social, I mean, sometimes we are paying that money just for the social interaction. If I want to have the interact with the machine, I can do it from home. Why do I need to go somewhere else and then try to do the same thing with a machine? Does appearance makes a difference? I mean, that's also, we looked at this one. And our research says that if it looks like a human, people think it's more intelligent. And then basically it's more appropriate for a recommendation agents. It looks like a machine, then it's more appropriate for I mean, mascot-like appearance. We also look at that one, you know, they look cute. Generates lots of positive emotions, but people don't think they are that intelligent. And then we have, they are more appropriate for providing information, but not making recommendations. And then we have machine-like. We looked at 3 different types of robots. I mean, when people see something that looks like a machine, they think, oh, this must require lots of effort. I'm not going to deal with this stuff. So basically, they are good for delivering functional services. And then we look at the appearance. So what happens if the appearance of the robot's appearance is too similar to the customer appearance? We did one study in that one. What we did was we had a robot, and then we manipulated the appearance of the robot, the race. Basically, we had Asian, black, and white. And then we had Asian, black, and white customers. Okay? Basically, what we were trying to do is we were trying to figure out if there was an identity threat. When a white customer interacted with a white robot, they didn't want to interact with that robot. But if the robot was black or Asian, they had no problem. Same thing with the black customer interacting with a black robot, they didn't want to interact. But if the robot was white or Asian, no problem. Same thing with Asian. We had the same finding with Asians. Asian customer, Asian robot, they didn't want to interact. But with a black or a white robot, no problem. We did the same thing with the human employees. If there's a white employee, white customer, no problem. Black employee, black customer, no problem. But if it's a machine, then because it looks too similar, I mean, racial component is an important part of our identity. So people didn't want it because, I mean, that's the threat. You are dealing with something as intelligent as you, and then it poses a significant threat. So that's what happened. I mean, in that case, when they see the identity threat, they didn't want to interact. And also they come up with the idea they are not that intelligent. You know, sometimes we have to provide justification because we are the better, most intelligent things on this planet, better than anything else, more intelligent than anything else. So they come up with the idea that they are not as intelligent. If there is a racial match, there is no racial match, then they are intelligent. People came up with the idea. And also, I mean, associate with the robots, customer evaluation. Basically, if it looks like them, they don't want to deal with the robot. They don't want to get service from the robot. And also, if you look at emotional intelligence, robots and customers. And both AI and customer emotional intelligence influences their evaluations. What we found was, I mean, basically it's like human beings. If you become friends with some people, if you are on the same page, you like the same things. Same thing with the machines. People feel more comfortable if they think that the machine can understand or if the machine is like them. If they are if they are funny, and then if the machine is funny, making jokes, then they are makes a customer happier. Similar format. And then basically, if it looks like a mascot-like, it's a little bit different. And the machine-like basically has no effect. And then basically you can use robust with emotional intelligence similarity for customized service experiences. Service recovery, very important. Because in service recovery, I mean, you have to understand, feel the customer's pain. And these machines, if a machine can show that they understand, they feel their pain, then people feel more comfortable. And if you are making recommendations, basically that means in this business you are trying to sell them something. So if there is emotional intelligence similarity, then people are more likely to buy the product you are recommending. And then verbal cues. We also looked at this one in different setting. With this one, we use chatbots. Basically, if you, it's like human beings. If you have a problem, okay, and then if you go to a customer service agent, if the customer service agent makes too many jokes, you think that that person is a good person but not competent, cannot solve your problem. That's why making so many jokes. If someone is serious, you know the person is good. He's going to solve your problem, but may not be a good person, may not be a nice person. The same thing with the machines. We found the same things. If there are too many emojis chatbot is using, then people think, oh, this is not a competent chatbot. Won't be able to solve my problems. But if it's giving lots of text, serious responses, then people think that it's going to solve the problem. This is a competent chatbot. Same results. But I mean, similar to the human beings. Basically, people are showing a similar response that they'll show to human behavior. And then a verbal versus non-verbal cues, higher warmth, lots of emojis, someone making lots of jokes, but they may not be competent. And then effectiveness of message interactivity. I mean, if you want interactivity, make lots of jokes. Get better responses. If you are serious, straightforward, then you don't get that much interaction. All right, I mean, there are lots of issues with AI. And one of the problems is customers' limited understanding of AI. That's one of the problems. I mean, when we think of AI, as I mentioned, we think it's about language models, ChatGPT. That's it, nothing else. And then also customers may see the AI technologies. I mean, we want human interaction. They are less warm. Basically, there's a dilemma. So we did one study a few years ago. And this is the question we ask. Do you see AI as an opportunity or a threat? Depending on who you ask. I mean, most people believe that AI will simplify life. 63%. That's a large percentage. And then increase efficiency, and it should be supported, 51%. 50-50 basically. And a significant portion of the people is concerned that AI will increase unemployment, 52%. That's a large percentage and lead to social inequality among different social groups. Because everyone doesn't have a similar type of access, doesn't have the education to use AI. And then I think this is more interesting. Around 21% of the people believe that AI may destroy humanity eventually. 1 out of 5 person. That's what people think. 1 out of 5 person believes that AI will destroy humanity. You know, I think most of you, maybe younger people may not remember the movie Terminator, Skynet, taking over the world. AI one day may decide humans are not needed because we are the one who are destroying this planet. Climate change, who is causing the climate change? Not the birds, not the monkeys, humans. So if we get rid of all the humans, then we don't have any problem. The planet won't have any problem. AI may decide that one day and get rid of us. I think that's basically what these people think. And also, I mean, we also look at the age, gender, and all the other stuff. But the most interesting finding was age. Older people worried about AI, and younger people worried about AI. Younger people are worried about AI because of their jobs. They think the AI will take over their jobs. They won't be able to find a job. I don't know if it's going to happen, but everyone keeps talking about it. but AI hasn't taken anyone's job yet. I think it will create more jobs than it will take. Basically, I mean, it's a double-edged sword. It's like chocolate. You should eat it. You want to eat it, but you don't want to eat it at the same time. The same concept. And then what we did was, I mean, once we realized that AI may not be all positive, we did another study. But this time, we come up with product description. We had a whole bunch of different products. And then in one of them, we use AI, one description, the other one high-tech. Whenever we mention AI, intention to buy that product went down significantly. It doesn't matter what kind of product. People are really worried about having AI in their products. I mean, why do I need a fridge with AI? What will it do? We looked at different types of products, different types of services, always get the same result. And then I think it was the first in that area, so got lots of media attention. We got on a fortune. Why do I need AI in my coffee machine? I think this is also a fortune. Even this guy, the guy who does the ChatGPT, talk about our research. And then we were on CNN. Then we were on Wall Street Journal. I mean, almost everyone covered the study, and they provide basically a summary of the study. Because we always think that AI is a good thing. From consumer perspective, it may not be a good thing. People are worried about it. Many people are worried about AI. Then we look at the service context. So we look at the different types of products, and we look at the service context. But for this study, we got data from China. The first study, we got data from US. When you look at how much consumers are exposed to AI, in the US, consumers are not exposed to AI that much. It's running in the background. In China, they are living with AI technologies. There are so much AI out there, people interact every day, so they have different perception. Because of the level of presence of AI in everyday life. Okay, so for this one, we look at disclosing AI presence in services. Basically, it reduces customer cognitive and affective trust. And also it receives perceived quality and usage intention in hedonic services. If it's a hedonic service, people don't want it. But if it's a functional or utilitarian, then they say it's okay. It makes my life easier. Why not? I am driving a car. My car has AI, okay? And then there's a camera in the car. Whenever I look at my cell phone, gives me a warning. What I do is I just put a napkin on the camera. Camera doesn't see me, so I can do whatever I want. The camera inside the car. Outside, no problem. It still monitors and does everything else. But I mean, it's a functional service. I have no problem with it. And if I want privacy, I can always block the camera inside the car. Still monitoring everything else I do. I mean, one time I was in Mauritius, and then I was doing a lecture. I put my cell phone on the screen, and then checked my car. And then my wife was driving the car. I could see the speed she was making, where she was going, the radio station she was listening to, everything. I think most of our cars have similar technologies, but it's part of AI. Anyway, that's basically in hedonic services, people don't want it functional. It's okay. And then we look at what kind of threat. Okay, existential threat. People are really worried about the existential threat. That is AI getting rid of humanity. People are really worried about that. Deep down, we are all worried. No one wants to die. I mean, not no one, but most of us don't want to die. Some people want to die. That's a different story. So we are worried about AI is going to get rid of us. And even if we die, I mean, we want to have our kids. Why do you think we have kids? Because it makes us immortal. Kids makes us immortal. I mean, you know how big of a hassle having a kid? You have to change the diaper, no sleep, they grow up, they don't listen to you, you fight all the time with your kids. but people still have it. Because we want to be immortal. They make us immortal. That's one explanation for having kids. And that poses a significant issue when it comes to existential threat. You will die, but they may affect your kids, your grandkids. So people are worried about that issue. And identity threat is also another issue that people are worried about, because we are supposed to be the more intelligent things. It's in-group, out-group thing. And then customers often associate AI with negative connotations, especially hedonic services. And then fear of AI. Again, we are all worried about AI, whether you use AI every day or not. We don't know what they are going to do in the future. Now they cannot make independent decisions, but they are saying maybe in 5-6 years they will start making independent decisions. Imagine having AI making nuclear decisions. We will get there. And if AI makes an objective decision, shoot down a plane, and then the other AI shoot down the other one, sends a missile, and the other one sends a missile, and the other one sends the nuclear missile, the other one sends a nuclear missile, AI will survive, but we won't. And that's going to happen. That's basically existential threat. So what can we do? I mean, we can use basically, especially for hedonic services, I think we are not focusing on, we are assuming that people want AI. They don't, in many instances. So we need to show people that AI can help you have a better experience. People don't want to deal with the AI or machines. I think that's one of the communication strategy. You need to come up with context specific, and also we need to address the fears. We need to address the fear of AI. We are afraid. I mean, most of us at different degrees, but we don't know what AI is capable of, what it may do in the future. And these are some of the challenges when it comes to AI too. There is no regulation. No one is regulating this thing. And one thing is data quality. Everyone doesn't have access to same data. You have good data, good AI. Bad data, bad AI. Basically, that's that simple. Talent acquisition. AI programming is different. AI programmers are very expensive. Facebook was trying to get AI programmers. They were offering $500,000 US a year, and they couldn't find enough people. $500,000 salary. They couldn't find. People wouldn't work for them. They thought it wasn't enough money. Okay, ethical and responsible AI. Who makes that decision? There is no regulation, nothing. And integration of AI with the existing system. Have you guys seen the systems that some of our companies are using? Hotels, airlines. You know airlines, what kind of system they are running on? Do you guys remember DOS system before Microsoft 95? 1990s? They are still using DOS-based systems. Airlines, they are still using DOS-based system because it doesn't require lots of data. They are fast, they are reliable, and you don't need fast computers. If you go to an airline, if you have a chance, go back behind the counter and see what kind of system they are using. You will see blue background and then a white text. Those are the DOS-based system. And they are older than most of you in this room. And we don't use them anymore, but airlines are still using it. Imagine integrating AI-based system with that system. It's not going to work. And many of the hotels are using the same system, older system, because it doesn't take too much time, so you can interact with the customer rather than interacting with the computer. That's why they are using those simplified systems. And it's going to be a challenge, scalability and performance. This is expensive. I mean, none of the AI companies are making money. No one is making money out of AI. No one. But their stock price keeps going up because we really believe in AI and it's going to do good things for us in the future. We don't know when. But no one is making money. You know how much ChatGPT? Microsoft put $10 billion with a B. $10 billion. They invest billions and billions. No one is making money. ChatGPT is charging $20 per person. They're not going to make any profit in the short term, maybe in the long term, I don't know. And then explaining it to a regular person, how it makes decisions, that's a challenge. No one understands. And then data privacy and security. I mean, who has access to data? You know, whenever you put anything on a ChatGPT, it becomes part of the public domain knowledge. Whatever you put there, unless you use a private screen. Everything you put there becomes a part of a public domain, like internet thing. You know, you post one picture on social media, you cannot delete it. Same thing with a ChatGPT or Gemini. It becomes part of the database, and the return on investment. I mean, no one is making money, so we don't know how long it's going to take. And change management. We don't want the change. Older people running the companies, so it's going to take a long time for AI, we really start using AI. And then regulation and legal consideration, there is no regulation. That's the Wild West out there. Honestly, there's no regulation. Anyone can do anything they want. Some countries are limiting, restricting, but for most countries, there is no regulation. Like internet. You know you can't post anything on the internet. In most countries, no legal consequences, anything. And there is because it's not, no one is regulating in most countries. I mean, we have a whole bunch of opportunities when it comes to AI area. It's a new area. I mean, it has been around, what, 5 years, 4 years? The research, 4 or 5 years, and we are still learning. I mean, one of this is a context base. Different industries requires different types of research. In, I mean, hedonic services, functional services, people have different perception of AI. The same thing, acceptance may not mean a long-term use. Maybe people don't want to use it. And then positive, negative impacts on customer and employees. We always focus on the positive side. Now we have more research looking into negative effects on employees and customers. And then whether can AI enhance social interactions? This is a very important question because the population is getting old and old people do not have anyone to interact with. So we need to have something for social interaction. I'm in healthcare. I think we are seeing more and more AI in healthcare. Now you go and then you put your arm somewhere, take some blood, and it gives you whole analysis to you. In the old days, we used to go to see a doctor. I mean, training doctors are expensive. Now we have robots are doing the operations, some simple operations. And then AI devices and employee interactions. We are going to be working with those things side by side. And AI is now hiring a human. AI technologies are supervising people. How are you going to deal with that? I think those are some of the challenges that we need to look into and try to understand. And then also employee well-being. It might be a good thing or a bad thing, depending on how we use it. I mean, same thing. I could have done the whole thing on using AI, me without being here. Now, you know, they have the holograms. You know how cheap they are, holograms? They are very inexpensive. You can buy for a few $100s. And then you put everything on the computer, hologram, you set it up here, and then I can sit there and hologram will do the whole presentation. So the technology is changing. And this is a robot I have in my office, I think we use for research.
Hello. Nice to meet you. I'm Furhat, a social robot. Are you there? There you are. Sorry I lost you for a while. Let me repeat myself. I'm Furhat, a social robot. The most advanced in the world. If perhaps not the most humble. Anyway, nice to meet you. How are you?
Good. How are you, Furhat?
Are you there? There you are. Sorry I lost you for a while. Let me repeat myself. How are you doing today?
I am doing good. How are you?
Glad to hear you feel good. And I Feel fabulous. Can I tell you a bit about me? It takes about 5 minutes.
Sure.
This is an old technology now. I bought this robot 4 years ago. And then it can monitor based on your movements. Its eyes can see you, the cameras. And then talk. And then I think it knows 60-something languages. Whole bunch of different accents. They do a whole bunch of, it's basically for communication. But the problem is, this is done in my office. If I do the same thing in this room, it wouldn't work. Because I think one of the main problems with AI technology is these days, especially for robots, if you are using for communication, social interactions, voice recognition system doesn't work. That's the problem, and no one has been able to solve it yet. Google has been trying, Amazon trying, everyone is trying. It's not they couldn't figure out a solution. I think because the human language frequency, we all use different frequency, and human brain, our ear is better, so we can focus on a certain person, and then we can block everything else. But these things cannot do it yet. They are trying. The same thing, if you are using your phone to dictate something and talking, if it's background noise, your phone won't understand, will make mistakes. The same problem. I think that's all I have to say. Thank you, everyone, for your attention. Okay. Right time. Yes, we said 1 hour, so we started late.
Right on time. Thank you, Prof. I hope that was very insightful for everybody. I hear a lot of yeses, so you did a good job, Prof. We're going to move on to our next segment, which is where we then get to continue with the interaction. I don't see Prof. Oh, here you are. I'd like to invite Prof. Tembi Tichawa to the stage to have a Q&A session and facilitate that for us. Thank you, Prof. Can we give him a hand?
Thank you very much. Before we get to the Q&A, I like the last slide. So I was just telling Tracy there that I wonder what my grandmother will say to your friend Farhad, because it's probably going to say, hey, Tembi's gone crazy now, he's talking to a robot. But that's the society we live in nowadays, and it is where we are. We are in the era of technology. And I think when we spoke earlier this afternoon, when you met the tourism team, we're talking about acceptance and the fact that whether we like it or not, we are at a stage where technology is going to be at the epicenter of everything we do. And what is very exciting to me is the way you started the presentation to say that these are things that we have been using, but we haven't been making use. We are just not aware about it. And so when you showed up your watch, Tracy saw mine and saw an email came through, and she was very upset about it. But that's where we are. So thank you very much. A round of applause again to Prof for that presentation. So now, I don't know about you. I've got a few questions, but probably let me open the floor for us to have a conversation and that interaction. For the students, I'm sure they are thinking differently. For the staff, there's probably something. Oh, okay, please. Oh, no. Yeah, we can. So, yes. So, for the colleagues as well, I'm sure there's some questions you have for Prof. Dogan, and also some contributions if you want to make. Also based on your experiences, some of us have been very privileged to listen to you at conferences as well, and read some of the papers that have been published already. So here is the opportunity. Let's give to the audience if there are questions. Is there a roving mic? Someone to help us with a roving mic. Are there any questions, comments? Come on, students, I'm sure.
Let's start with your question. Usually they are shy.
Yeah, no, they shouldn't be shy. I think for me, the key, the question for me was really about acceptance. And I mean, in the last few slides focused on the challenges, and then the ethical issues is one of the issues our Vice Chancellor raised a lot as far as AI is concerned, and who controls AI and the ethics around it. What should we be doing? What should organizations be doing as far as that is concerned? Because it's a question that might be difficult, but we need to answer it, from an ethical point of view. And we're talking about acceptance. I would like to ask the student whether they accept the use of AI, Oh, they say yes, obviously. And yeah, some are going no. Yeah, let's see hands. I think before you answer, Prof, how many of you accept the use of AI? Can I see your hands? Or are happy with AI? No, let me see your hands. Okay. Let's see those who are like, no, definitely not this thing. Okay, there are quite a few. And who's on the fence? Okay, so Prof, over to you.
I think when it comes to AI, that's one of the main concerns. People do not know how AI works, how AI makes decisions. Because we have several different AI, for example, ChatGPT. We don't know how it works. We have Gemini. We don't know how it works. And we have other AI in the West. We don't know how it works. And then from a Chinese side, DeepSeek, we don't know how it works. And these are private companies are developing these applications, and we are all sharing all our data with them, like sharing your stuff on social media. Or, I mean, if you look at these things, this thing, okay, has my fingerprint, my facial recognition, has everything. And I am sharing this willingly, and I don't know what Apple is going to do with that information. Yes. So at least when it comes to this, there is some regulation. And laws limits what can they do with that data. But for AI types of thing, there is no regulation. I mean, we don't know what AI will do or how companies are using the information we are sharing with artificial intelligence, and no one is regulating that information. In the long term, I don't know what kind of effect it's going to have on a human, our data or our privacy, whether they will be protecting our privacy. I think one thing that to make sure that people trust AI, there needs to be some oversight on all the companies. And we are sharing our information with social media, because if social media uses data, misuses it, lots of people sue Facebook. You cannot do the same thing with AI, because who are you going to sue? You don't know how they're going to misuse your information. There is no regulation. For social media, there is some regulation, but for AI, no one is regulating. The countries, a few years ago, get together, try to come up with some regulation, and they couldn't agree on it. And trust is one of the main components of whether people will accept AI, will use AI, is how much we trust it. But if there is no regulation, if there is no oversight, I don't know what portion of the people are going to trust AI, or whether AI is going to use your information responsibly, ethically. From my perspective, I think regulation oversight is one important area. Even the people who invest heavily in AI, develop the AI, they are saying there needs to be regulation. Someone needs to regulate this thing. There needs to be an oversight.
Thank you. Can we have the mic to Prof. Abrams and then Prof. Nyikana?
It's just a bit of a follow-up on the question, the presentation that you raised. The presentation earlier indicated about the number of old and young people that either accept or are not using it. Is there more detail around, is there more women using it in terms of, and is there a generational analysis in terms of which gen is sort of accepting it more? I'm always interested in those sort of
Yeah, more information. Basically, the older you get, the less people want AI. But the younger people also are worried about AI college students and then a little bit younger high school, the late high school, because they are worried about the jobs, whether they will be able to find jobs. And then when you look at the gender, I mean, a man and woman, their brain works differently. Men, they're very simple. No, I mean, that's true. The way we make decision is very simple. We look at one thing, and then we make our decision based on one thing. So most men don't care about AI. But when you look at females, they are more detail-oriented, and they analyze and sometimes overanalyze every single thing. And then they are more worried about, from a gender perspective, females are more worried about AI. And then also when you look at the religion side, people who are religious, they don't want AI because the assumption is only God can create. Human cannot create. So that's one challenge that they are facing from religious sides. And also we have a conspiracy, people who believe in conspiracies and not believe. People who believe in conspiracy, they don't want AI because they think AI is here to do bad things to humans. They have a different agenda. So different groups have a different perspective. But I think people in the middle, they are not sure whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. But the older you get, they don't want AI. Younger people, they don't want AI because of job concerns. I hope this answered the question.
Yeah, okay. Thanks, Prof, for that presentation. It's not a question, but a reflection on something that you said earlier about AI potentially increasing these social inequalities. And I'm thinking from a South African context perspective, we're probably one of the countries with the biggest divide in terms of this inequality in society. But I also think in the sector itself, we've got these two far apart sides where there's the well-resourced big businesses who probably have access to very nice, effective AI tools. Then there's the very small role players who don't have access. Initially, my thought was AI may probably help us bridge this disconnect, but I'm also thinking maybe for the small player in the sector, this is a big challenge. So I just wanted to see or hear what your thoughts are on that. Thank you.
No, I think you're right. If people have access to advanced AI tools, they'll be advancing more rapidly than if you don't have access to AI tools. It's like, some movies, there are two groups of people. The world is destroyed, and then people set up colonies or something on the moon or somewhere in the space, and people, more advanced people or wealthier people live in that place, and then the rest of the population live in the planet Earth after a nuclear war. I think it's going to happen because if you don't have access to technology, you won't be advancing that fast. And people who has the advanced technology, they'll be advancing a lot faster. And there will be basically, now we have developing, and then underdeveloped. There will be developed and underdeveloped. Basically, midsection will be gone, I guess. I don't know. May happen, but I don't think AI is really going to help. If you don't have access to AI, if you don't have access, then you don't have access. As clear as that.
You touched on it briefly, but I think it's the elephant in the room that a lot of people are not wanting to go into, because when people talk about AI in tourism and hospitality, the presentation did touch on acceptance and fear. And when we asked the question at the beginning, who accepts this thing and who doesn't, we could see the room and the reactions. But maybe perhaps you want to talk a little bit about AI taking over jobs in hospitality and tourism, because it's a concern for the younger generation, and as you rightly said it, and our students here, some of them are also equally concerned about it. They've raised this previously, and perhaps where the thinking should be as opposed to the fear.
I think if you are worried that AI is going to take your jobs, AI is not going to take your jobs, because AI cannot do the job you are doing. I think in the old days, Okay, with Industrial Revolution, AI took the jobs, blue-collar jobs. Not AI, sorry. Industrial Revolution, machines. But AI is going to take over the white-collar jobs. If you're a lawyer, why do I need a lawyer? I have an AI, knows everything, all the laws, everything. AI judge can make better decisions than human judge without any bias. That's what they are saying. Human AI lawyer. I mean, for most of the medical services can be provided by AI technologies because what do they do? Anyway, they check you, and then check your blood, and then scan your body, and then make a decision. AI can do it, and there are tests showing that if AI can look at an X-ray machine, can do a better job than a human doctor. But when it comes to providing, I mean, we had some research, and the findings suggest that people don't want AI, don't want machines in hedonic services. It is a different purpose. When you go to a doctor, you don't go to a doctor to have fun. Okay? If you are in a context, if you are thinking about hospitality and tourism services, we pay lots of money, or people pay lots of money, because we want to have fun. Okay, we want to escape. If I want to interact with a machine, as I mentioned during the presentation, I can do it at home. I am going to a nice resort or a hotel because I want to be with other people. Humans are social. We want social interaction. And our industry is one of the few industries that provide that social interaction. We interact with other employees and also other customers. That's how we create, how we co-create experiences. Now we have the technology component, but you still need the humans in the co-creation process. So I mean, for the type of services we are doing, I don't think we need to worry about it. I think AI is going to help us generate more jobs because we need to have people. We have people. I mean, you guys are going to be managing those people, but also someone needs to manage those machines. I mean, there are people who has the computer, I mean, software engineers or computer science people, but they don't know our business. They don't know what our customer wants. So we need to manage those machines to provide the type of services the customer wants or type of experiences the customer wants. So I think it's going to create more jobs for this industry or people who are specializing in this field than some other field. My sister is an accountant, okay? They are seriously talking about AI will take over their jobs, and it will. You don't need an accountant to enter the numbers. It can automatically enter the numbers. It can scan the thing, and then it'll enter the numbers. It'll be cheaper, faster, more reliable. Or everyone is using online systems now. When you buy something, it's scanned, and then it can directly go to the accounting system. It can be automated. But what we are doing in this business, you cannot automate most of things. If you automate it, then it will defeat the whole purpose of going on a vacation. I mean, we have the experiences. You can use the goggles and everything. You can visit many places using metaverse type of technologies or VR, or you can watch stuff on TV. Why do you travel? You can see the same thing on TV. But we travel. It's a different experience. We want the experience. So the same thing with having machines, but we will always need human, and we will need people to manage the machines and manage the whole experience. And I think maybe you will need some slightly different skills, but I don't think it's going to take over the jobs. I think it will create more jobs, new opportunities.
I think it's an issue of the awareness, and that's why we're doing this public lecture. And the idea is that from here we can learn a lot more about AI technologies, and especially in the space, tourism and hospitality space. Are there any other questions, comments, contributions? We good on time? We can take. There is one at the back yet, finally.
Hi everyone. I just wanted to ask Guti. I just wanted to ask. I recently read about VR and AI, and it said that most the technology is 3D, meaning that it can be twist around. So how do we deal with that? Because I don't think a lot of people notice what it brings in. Like it's still. So if it's like 3D, so it still raises ukuthi it doesn't remove the uncertainty ukuthi it doesn't remove the uncertainty of saying ukuthi okay, I can trust EVR to show me ukuthi for VR tours, meaning ukuthi they can be twitched around. So how do we deal with that? Yes, because there are 3D.
I think if that's what you are saying, yes, you are correct. With the current technology, we have the virtual experiences. It is not going to work. It's not working. That's why a metaverse side failed. Because having, using some sensors and then trying to have the real experience is not going to work. I think if there's a movie, have you guys seen Inception? If you look at the Inception movie, or if you remember, I'm sure most of you watch Matrix. Okay, for those virtual experiences to work, we need to have a technology like the one they have in a Matrix. Okay, you need to put something in, and then it transforms you to a different area, so you can use everything you can feel, you can taste. With the current technology, you don't really feel it, not the whole thing. You cannot taste it, you cannot smell it. People are doing research on dreams. Okay, they are trying to manipulate dreams, and they are successful to a certain degree. But if we can manipulate dreams, they can put you into sleep, and then if they can make you dream about the virtual experience, then that can replicate the real experience. Okay.
If they wake you up halfway. And
Yeah, if they wake you up halfway, then that's a whole different story. You are right. But with the current system, it's not going to work. I think if you guys want to learn about that, there is a book written in 1910, written 120 years ago. Okay, it's available freely on Google Books. It's called When Machine Stops. When Machine Stops. So basically, the writer, I think, is very good imagination. People are living in a society that no one is going anywhere. People cannot even walk because they haven't used their muscles. They are in a room, in their chair, and they are plugged into a machine, and they do everything through that machine. Everything. All social interactions, dating, whatever you do, everything is done virtually. People cannot even walk. And in that, I think that person imagine a virtual world, maybe 100 years later from now, and the describes type of experience people will have. In the book, the machine stops and everyone dies. A different story, but I think read that book and it might give you an idea of what the future may look like. If that's the right question, because I couldn't hear because you are wearing the task. Yeah. I hope this answered the question, but.
Sorry, is there one more? Okay, is there one more question? Yes, there is a question here. Pass the microphone.
Hello, everyone. So, Prof, you mentioned that AI is most likely to create more jobs than take over a human workforce. So my question is, don't you think that it's more beneficial for engineers or people with relevant skills to manage AI robots or self-service machines, not as studying tourism?
I think we assume that to manage AI machines or AI robots, you need to have engineering knowledge. You don't. Because it's like managing the robots is like running your computer. To run your computer, do you think computer science majors should run the computers, or can you run a computer? Can you use a computer, or only computer science people should use computer? Basically, all those robots, all those AI machines comes with a platform like using Microsoft Words. They have menus. You just click on the menus and then pull down menus, and then you just use manage them using those applications. Because, I mean, your suggestion, if we use the same logic, only computer science people should use Microsoft Word. Because robots are the same thing. They have a very simple menu, and we just click on a few things on the menu, and then you manage them. If they are broken, I cannot fix a computer, but I can use it. If the machine is broken, then yeah, we may need an engineer. I'm not going to fix it. If my computer is broken, I don't try to. I try to fix it, usually. I make it worse, and then I dump it by a new one. But for the robots, yeah, to fix them, we may need engineers. But to manage them, I don't think we will need engineers. Any one of us with the right training can do it. Because it doesn't require any tech knowledge.
I think this is good. This brings us to the end of this Q&A. A lot more to discuss. I'm sure I know the students, they will ask the questions amongst themselves, but I hope that you will find answers in some of the things you've learned here today. And you can also take this within your friends and study groups, and you can raise some questions and look at find the answers and the solutions. You are the younger generation. Yes, or ask ChatGPT.
If you ask the question to ChatGPT, ask a few times, different days. You will get different answers.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Profs. Just to wrap up, Prof, you can have a seat. I now want to call Dr. Daniels onto the stage just to give us the concluding remarks. Let's give her a round of applause.
Good afternoon, everyone. And thank you again, Prof. Gursoy, for that extremely insightful lecture. And it's clear to us now, I think, that the integration of AI actually presents extraordinary opportunities for us, but also important questions, which I hope that you will continue to ask. And I think importantly, today's lecture has extended our understanding of AI beyond just ChatGPT. Yeah? When my students, I say, what about AI? They all say, yes, ChatGPT. But it's far more than just that, especially in the tourism and hospitality spaces. And I think after your talk, some people here might even be looking for love using AI. So in our industries, we've mentioned now that there is this fear around the changing landscape that we operate in. But you've shown us that it's actually enhancing our tourism and hospitality spaces. And like we said, the fear is often rooted in, is AI taking our jobs? But it's really, really comforting to know that human interaction is still number one. And that really motivates us to continue work harder in our spaces. And perhaps the biggest challenge is for us as a university to rethink how we train our graduates in the tourism and hospitality spaces in order for them to interact with these new technologies that are not going away. So on behalf of the SDH and UJ, we would like to extend our sincere gratitude to you for sharing your expertise and your insights with us today. We are really privileged to have such a widely recognized leading scholar with us here, interacting with us as staff and as students. We're also really privileged to have you as a research associate of the school, and we value our ongoing collaboration with you. I'd also like to thank all of the colleagues, the students, and the industry partners who took the time to join us here today and to contribute to this really important discussion and conversation. Students, I encourage you to take the information that you've learned here today forward with you, as Prof. Tachawa said, in your classrooms, in your discussions, and also in your future careers. So to close, thank you, Prof. Gursoy, once again for this enlightening and thought-provoking lecture. I think we should give you one last warm round of applause. We will now serve a light finger lunch in the foyer, but can the SDH team leader please just remain behind for some photographs? Thank you all for attending, and we wish you a wonderful afternoon.